Vlaakith and Tiamat have blessed me this day, screamed Tavamat as he drew his sorceress energies from within and unleashed a fireball towards the most hated enemy. Although illithids do not scream, Tavamat could feel their fear as his spell hurtled towards them. The rest of his raiding party funneled into the room, taking the fight to the illithids before they could unleash their psionic abilities. Tavamat spotted one young warrior. Lae'zel was her name, as he recalled, and was impressed at her ferocity. However, her lack of experience had caught up with her quickly, and as she lunged at one mind flare, another one was creeping up behind her. Not having the energy to summon another powerful spell such as Fireball, Tavamat leapt in between Lae'zel and her would-be attacker. He was, however, too late, yet the illithids had not killed him or Lae'zel, and it seemed like they have other plans. So here is Tavamat, a portmanteau of Tav and Tiamat. He's a sage, he is curious and well learned and well read. For race, he's a Githyanki, which gives him +1 intelligence, +2 strength, and proficiency with light and medium armor, and proficiency with short swords, long swords, and great swords, so he could be dual wielding short swords if you wanted, or probably wielding a great sword. For his appearance, went for voice 3, head 7, just the standard skin and eye color, hairstyle 5, no facial, tattoo 16, you can't really see it, but it kind of looks a bit like a dragon here on the side of his cheek, with just the default makeup, and scales 3 with the nice red here. His class is a sorcerer, Draconic Bloodline from Tiamat. If you didn't know, Tiamat is kind of like the goddess of the evil dragons, 5-headed dragon with red, blue, green, black, and white. For his cantrips, he's picked up a ranged cantrip, Firebolt, light, because he's no fool. He knows that he doesn't have dark vision. Shock and grasp if he needs to get out of melee. Blade ward for when he wants to jump in ahead of time. And for his spells, he's picked up Chromatic Orb, nice kind of versatile spell, and False Life because he doesn't want to die. Also, as a Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer, and because he chose red as his Draconic Ancestor, fire, he gets Burning Hands, so it's nice if he can get up close to somebody, and he gets 1 extra hit point for every sorcerer level, and his base armor class is 13, though he will probably be getting into Githyanki half-plate as soon as possible. For his skills, from his background, he gets Arcana and History. I've picked up Athletics here. I don't quite understand what's going on here. Skills with proficiency, he's picked up Intimidation and Religion, from being well-read and being slightly high up in Githyanki society, and also give him Athletics, because he does get involved with the rough and tumble. Now, ability points, he's stretched a bit thin, so I gave him a 16 in strength because I'm going to get him to be using melee weapons. I want a constitution of 14 because I don't want him to die and I want him to keep concentration potentially, but I also want him to be a half decent caster, so charisma's at 15 with the hope of getting Volo's Eye to make that go up to 16. Even with intelligence and wisdom as low as they can be, that leaves dexterity at 12. If he doesn't want to be good at melee, I would probably put strength down and dexterity up, but he wants to be whacking stuff as best he can. As soon as he wakes up, he does realize something's wrong. He feels weak. He used to be able to cast Fireball, which is a 3rd level spell, and now he's barely able to cast level 1 spells. At level 2, Tavamat gets Metamagic and Sorcery points. He is going to pick Extended Spell. This is to go along with his new spell, actually. He's picked up Sleep, because what's better than killing an enemy? It is killing one that's asleep to guarantee you critical hits. So he's gone for Extended Spell, which doubles the duration of conditions, summons, and surfaces caused by spells. So this will actually link up with Blade Ward to give him resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for more than just like 2 turns, but for 4 instead. And Twin Spell, because what's more fun than hitting one person with a Chromatic Orb is hitting 2 people with a Chromatic Orb, or 1 person twice. At level 3, he gets to pick up 1 more Meta Magic. He's going to go for Quicken Spell, because who doesn't want to check out more spells every round? And for his spells, he is going for kind of the fire magic theme. So he's gone for Scorching Ray. He likes to pretend that he's shooting out fire breath as if he's a red dragon, but he would never tell any other Githyanki that though. And at level 4, he gets to pick a new cantrip, and he figures that he can help manipulate all these lower beings on the material plane by using friends. As for spells, he wants to become more like a dragon, so he's going to pick Enlarge Reduce to try and make sure that he can be as large as possible, or on the other hand, he can reduce enemies if needed. He's not going to change any of his spells, he's happy with them. And then at level 4, we also have an ability score improvement. And there are some good choices for him. He could put strength up to 18 perhaps. Dexterity up to 14 to help improve his armor class. His charisma up to 18. That would be after using Volo's Eye. As for feats, Great Weapon Master will be fine because he can be wielding a great sword. He could pick up potentially any of the magic initiates, especially for sorcerer anyway, just to be able to get 2 more cantrips and 1 extra spell per day. He's going to go for martial adept because he is a Githyanki. He is good with weapons and with spells, and he's going to pick disarming attack and pushing attack. So once per short rest, he can use one of these. Tough would be okay for him as well, just to make him, well, tougher, survive longer in melee because he doesn't have the highest number of hit points. Or even Weapon Master, although it's a bit of a waste because this extra strength or dexterity doesn't mean too much, though extra strength would help his carry weight, but it would make him proficient with any weapon of choice. But yeah, I'm going to pick Martial Adept for him, pushing and disarming attack. So here is an overview of the items that I've given Tavamat. Picked up the Circlet of Fire, got Githyanki Halfplate, the Gloves of Flint and Steel, which come from the Underdark for saving Balin from the Bibberbang field. We've got the Amulet of Misty Step from Minthara, the Ring of Poison Resistance from the Goblin Camp, the Ring of Fire, which comes from helping out Glut and taking out Spore, Spider Step Boots, which come from the Whispering Depths, and the Everburn Blade from the Nautiloid. So the point here is that in melee he's got a nice fiery weapon because he's got some red dragon blood in his blood. We've got a couple of items that provide extra bonuses to fire, with the Circlet of Fire, the Gloves of Flint and Steel, and the Ring of Fire, and then there's kind of some useful items, the Amulet of Misty Step to get around, Spider Step Boots in case there is any webs on the floor, although he didn't pick up the web spell himself, and Githyanki Halfplate because, well, he is a Githyanki after all. So unfortunately for us, in a way, his Draconic Resilience doesn't mean much while he's wearing armor, but the fact that he can wear this armor is actually pretty good. So we're in a fight against the Hook Horrors here, and he's actually gone first, which is very lucky. And there are several options he's got at the beginning of the fight. At the moment, we've got the Hook Horrors spread out. I might actually go focus on this one at the back first before coming back the other way. But what can he do? He's got lots of options for himself. He's also got Lae'zel with him. One nice option could be to twin enlarge, to make both himself and Lae'zel just that bit bigger. He could, because we're in the Underdark and he doesn't have dark vision, could actually get light going at the beginning. And to get around, he's got the Amulet of Misty Step, so he could teleport over to the Hook Horror over there, if wanted or needed. And also, since he's a Githyanki and a sorcerer, he could twin jump. So he could put jump probably on Lae'zel and himself to be able to get into combat really nice and easily, and also allows Lae'zel to use it later. Just want to point out, with extended spell, it would affect Blade Ward, so we could put that up and then try and Misty Step into position. I wouldn't use Quicken spell at this point because it uses up 3 sorcery points, which they're quite valuable. Anyway, so what is he going to do? He is going to twin enlarge reduce because I think it's going to be the most impressive thing here. Extended. There we are. 2 massive Githyanki coming at you. And hopefully not taking too much damage. He forgot to cast False Life, eh? How silly of him. And there's also part of that is because he has used Volo's Eye, I didn't show it earlier, and his intelligence is only 8 now. Definitely his fault, not mine. So I wasn't recording while it happened, but this Hook Horror scored a critical hit on Tavamat. And in fact, the bleeding effect is what made him lose concentration, which is a bit sad. So he's a little bit annoyed now. So what he can do to try and get some form of revenge is cast Sleep on this Hook Horror. And having put the Hook Horror to sleep in the previous turn, he can now use his one and only superiority die, which is actually quite useful because we know we're going to get a hit. It's an automatic critical hit. And do a whole bunch of fire damage because of the ring and the gloves and the sword. So he is a martial beast. Now I think he needs some sorcery points back. So we are going to use up a level 1 spell slot for a sorcery point, and perhaps next turn we will get some use out of that if we can. Now, this Hook Horror got knocked over by Lae'zel. She also has trip attack, and he spots this opportunity to use twin spell with Chromatic Orb Fire. Let's just try and shoot one up there. Failed miserably, but even though he got a critical miss on Filro the Forgotten, because of his combination of the ring and the gloves here, he still does decent amounts of damage. Tavamat reaches down into his soul, into his blood, brings up Burning Hands. Level 1 will do. Hit both of these guys and do a tiny bit of extra fire damage because of the Burning Hands to try and help his gang along. And he still has... Ooh, he's just out of movement speed, I think. Yeah. Still has a bonus action. Pommel Strike would have been nice. I think he's fine with where he is, so he doesn't need to use Misty Step. But the point here is that after using Burning Hands, he gets an extra bonus action from the Circlet. And in fact, maybe I should give him a Potion of Healing because he ain't doing too great. And he breathed, and again, he's going to use that level 2 spell slot to try and do as much damage to these 2 Hook Horrors as possible. Lets out his fire. Getting 1 extra bonus action. It's a good thing he took the potion last turn because actually he took a quite big hit. So let's go for another one. There we are. So we're running low on resources, and Tavamat still has his trusty sword. He's only used it once so far in this battle. And there we are. This is why he's carrying this great sword. This sword that's consistently on fire. I probably don't need to show the whole of the rest of the fight now, but we've still got Sleep. Very powerful. Tavamat is not messing around. we've gone ahead and sorted out the little light problem. Lae'zel now has the dancing lights necklace. She's also got guiding lights, the ring on her own weapon. And Tavamat is not impressed with these Kuo-Toa. They are praising the wrong god. They should be following Vlaakith, praising Tiamat. They are not. They need to be cleansed. So he's going to start off with a twin spell. Basically, oh no, not that. What he loves to do is throw fire around. So he's going to be throwing around 2 chromatic orbs. Look at this. This is brilliant. Slight area of effect as well. Scoring critical hit on one of them. Not quite killing it. Unfortunately, they're wet, so they're taking half damage. Oh no, it doesn't actually... It hasn't halved the damage, even though it kind of should have done. And after weakening, softening them up a bit, it's just going to charge in. Now, they haven't turned hostile, but they will soon enough. So the fight has started in earnest. The Kuo-Toa have been throwing nets around. And they're all kind of a bit bunched up here, so we'll have to wait until Tavamat's turn, but I think it's going to be a good turn. Yeah, look at them all. Let's see what Burning Hands can do once again. Unleashing the fire, so we can hit... Looks like we're going to hit 3 of them in that direction, or 3 of them in this direction, or 2 over there. So it could move a bit, so I think this might be a better position. Yes, there we are. Right, check their hit points. Ooh, one of them's very low. Let's just go for level 1. It's a bit sad the one next to Invictuplicity is going to die. I'll find another use for Invictuplicity. Oh, look at this. Oh, Invictuplicity's there. Brilliant. It's got 3 hit points left. Pummel strike. Boom. Knocks him out with this bonus action attack. We somehow managed to proc the Gloves of Flint and Steel. They're a bit broken at the moment, I think, which is why they kind of work really quite well. One thing Tavamat loves is all the options he has almost every turn. So he could take 2 of them out. And even for longer than normal, if he extends sleep, send these 2 to sleep for 4 rounds, he could try and disarm Bual here, who would probably be a good idea because his weapon's a bit dangerous. He could, as he's done before, enlarge himself and maybe Lae'zel at the same time to do extra damage. If he wants to get away, he can Misty Step away. It's just always got lots of great options. Right, he is actually going to try and disarm Bual. Unfortunately, passed his saving throw against the disarming attack, but still took extra damage from the ring. And with the bonus action, let's see what we can do with the bonus action. Could change positions. I don't think he needs to do that. Doesn't need any of these. He could even cast another spell, or cast the spell if he really wanted to, but don't want to use up all my sorcery points. Oh, the Githyanki work well together. Lae'zel just tripped up Bual. We'll now try and... Well, kill him. Perfect. Use action surge for that. But they do make quite a team. He's happy he's picked up this rookie Lae'zel. Now, he hasn't used Scorching Ray yet in this video, so we're going to Misty Step up to here from the necklace, which creates a bit of light since he is wielding a sword that he's cast light on. And then what are we going to do? Well, we have to pick one of them to fire 2 rays at. Oh, yes. Look at all this lovely damage. In his head as a child, he always wanted to be a dragon. And since we've got an extra bonus action now, and he's quite strong, he can fail shoving this Kuo-Toa off the side, but at least that was the idea. So this is the last remaining Kuo-Toa with 5 hit points. Let's go. Look at them burning through the power of Tiamat. At least that's what Tavamat thinks. So let me know what you think of Tavamat. Do you enjoy his theme? Would you have picked the same spells? I'm sure not everyone would have picked up Martial Adept at level 4. Just finish off the Fallen, shall we? Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please do consider subscribing. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.